Good evening, Hakology, and welcome to tonight's episode, which will be on binary division. Last episode this year. We'll be back next year, new year kind of time. Hopefully moving on to some more practical projects, because we've been doing binary theory now for about 6 weeks, and ones and zeros, man. So last episode on binary for a while. We're going to get into some electronics early off next year, and let's do this, man. Binary division. Okay, here we go. So the first sum we're going to look at is nice and easy, 10 divided by 2. So to start with binary division, rather than working from the right side to the left, we work from the left side to the right. So we start with the first binary digit, which is 8. We don't need to worry about that. All we need to worry about is the value below this. So the value is 1, and we say does 10 fit into 1? Well, 10 doesn't fit into 1, so no, and we put a 0 at the bottom, so it doesn't fit in. And then we say does 10 fit into 10? So we take the next digit along and we look to see if our number that we're dividing the other number by fits within these numbers. So 1, 0, does 10 fit into 10? Well, yep, indeed it does. So what we do is we put a 1 at the bottom, and we move on to the next section. But before we do that, we just need to check that we haven't got any remaining numbers left over. So what we do is we take our 10 that we've just divided with the number above, or check to see whether it was in, and we do 1, 0 minus 1, 0 equals 0. So no remainder, we don't need to do anything else, and we can move on with the rest of the sum. So then we move to the next digit along, which happens to be a 1, and we say how many times does 1, 0 fit into 1? Well, it doesn't. So what we do is we put our 0 at the bottom, and then we move on to the next digit. And we say, does 10 fit into 10? Well, yes it does, it goes once. And we put our 1 down on the bottom to indicate that. We just check that we haven't got any numbers left over by doing our remainder, so we take away the 1, 0 from the 1, 0, which leaves nothing, so there's no remainder. And our answer is 5, and we can just check that by adding 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 equals 5, and we know that 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So 5 is the answer. For this video we're just going to be using whole number examples. So the next example we're going to look at is 15 divided by 3, and our 3 is represented by 1, 1, and the 15 is 1, 1, 1, 1. So same thing as before, we take the first digit and we say how many times does 1, 1 fit into 1? Well, it doesn't. So we put a 0 at the bottom. How many times does 1, 1 fit into 1, 1? Well, it goes once. And we put the 1 at the bottom, we do our remainder, no remainder, we move on. And we say how many times does 1, 1 fit into 1? Well, that doesn't go, so we put a 0 at the bottom, and we say how many times does 1, 1 fit into 1, 1? And that's once, so we can put our 1 on the bottom. Double 1 minus double 1, remainder 0, and our answer is 5. Again, same answer as the first one, but slightly different sum. And we're just going to move on and do a slightly more complex example. So we're going to do 30 divided by 3. Same thing, we work from left to right, and we say how many times does 1, 1 fit into 1, 0? So we put the 0 down at the bottom. We say how many times does 1, 1 fit into 1, 1? Well, it goes once, so we put the 1 on the bottom, we do the 1, 1 minus the 1, 1, which is remainder 0. Then we move on to the next digit. So we say, does it fit into 1? No, it doesn't. Does it fit into 1, 1? Yes, it does. So we put our 1 down there. And then we say 1, 1 minus 1, 1, no remainder. And how many times does 1, 1 fit into 0? Well, that's 0. So we put a 0 at the bottom. and then we check our answer, and we can double check. We know that 30 divided by 3 equals 10, but if we add 8 and 2 together, we get the answer 10 in decimal. So it's pretty straightforward when you're dealing with whole numbers. I'm just going to show you one more example. This is a slightly more advanced example, and this is 16 divided by 8. So we take the first one and we say, does 1000, which is 8 in binary, fit into 1? Well, no, that doesn't fit. So we say, does it fit into 10? No, it doesn't fit, so we put the 0 down at the bottom. Does it fit into 100? Well, no, it still doesn't fit, and we put the 0 on the bottom. And we say, does 1000 fit into 1000, or 1000 fit into 1000? Indeed it does. So we draw a 1 at the bottom. Then we do the remainder. 1000 minus 1000 equals 0, so there's no remainder. Move on to the last digit, and the last digit is 0 because 1000 doesn't fit into 0, and we get our answer 2. So we know that 16 divided by 8 equals 2. So that was binary division in a nutshell. I really hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode. We should be moving on and covering some more detailed stuff to do with 1's complement, 2's complement, unsigned integers, signed integers and flipping bits in the future. But we're going to leave it there. Have a really good Christmas, have fun hacking as always, and have a great new year, and we'll see you sometime soon. Peace.